If you're sick and tired of the coming from the mouths of these insurance agent recruiters about how easy it is to make money selling insurance, then this video is going to blow your mind. I surveyed 155 insurance agents nationally about how much money they make selling insurance, and the results are gonna shock you. If you wanna see the truth behind what agents actually make selling all sorts of insurance products, then this video is for you. And without further ado, let's jump inside of the survey to see what kind of real money people actually make selling insurance. So the first question I asked was as follows: how much money after expenses did you make selling insurance of any kind over the past 12 months? And look at the results. People who lost money or made less than $25,000 in income account for more than 50% of the total survey takers. And those that made between $25,000 and $50,000 account for 14% of the survey. $50,000 to $100,000, 17.4% of the survey. And approximately 18% of the survey made more than $100,000 in income selling insurance over the past 12 months. So in a minute, I'm actually gonna show you what product lineup most of these agents are selling, and even better, we're gonna get some insight from the agents that make a lot of money and those that made no money on what tips or advice they would give you guys out there entering the world of selling insurance and how to make the most out of it. So make sure you stick around for that. But the first thing I wanna address is this: should you be shocked at the amount of people that aren't really making a lot of money? And my answer is no. The reality of being an entrepreneur. The reality of being an entrepreneur is this: the vast majority of people don't survive in business. Fully 90% plus of entrepreneurs fail out sometime in their first 5 years of business. So seeing agents not really making much money at all is not that surprising, because sales is entrepreneurship. You're running your own insurance sales business, with the sales process being your primary mode of activity. Likewise, it's not surprising that only approximately 2% or less of respondents are making $500,000 or more in income. The top 1% of all income earners make somewhere north of $400,000 to $500,000, so the numbers of this percentage responses aren't necessarily all that surprising. Truly, to make extraordinary income requires extraordinary circumstances, work ethic, intelligence, etc. So I'm not too surprised to see that these numbers are situated the way they are. Now, the good news is that approximately 20% of survey respondents are making $100,000 or more a year. And likewise, in most sales organizations, man, it's amazing to see it actually in the real life. 20% of those people are the ones who are crushing it. This is why I always try to tell people, look, you want to try to vie for what the top 20% are doing, because that's where the real money is made. Everything below 20% is just kind of mediocre, not any better than having a job with less responsibilities. So it's that top 20% you new agents out there need to be thinking for, and thinking about what they are saying they are doing to be successful. And back over here to the graph, we can see what kind of products these agents are selling. And this is probably representative of my list, right? So a lot of my marketing effort is for final expense. A lot of my effort is for Medicare. And we can see almost 35% of my replies are from final expense. 20% are from some kind of Medicare product. 17% for a variety of different non-final expense type products. 11% a mix. ACA or other is a small amount. Annuities just 10%, and under 65 is just 3%. Now, as promised, let's take a look at the actual responses from the agents who did very poorly and who are succeeding very well. It's going to be very interesting to compare and contrast their comments as to why they failed out or lost money, or why they had resounding success, to see what the differences are, and to most importantly, give you the insight necessary to give yourself the best chances of success entering this business to make the most money that you can possible. All right, so first on the list here are those who lost money selling insurance. So you can see the respondents and what times they did it. Of course, this is an anonymous survey, so you're not gonna see a lot of people who reveal their name or information, so it was truly a mix. So you can see a lot of these people, and I think that this is representative of the list that we have, our final expense agents. You do see a few other as well. It doesn't surprise me that the failure rate is probably a little higher and more representative of life insurance products. Again, this isn't a scientific survey, so it's just kind of a gut instinct thing. Life insurance sales, including final expense mortgage protection, is a harder sale. You're convincing somebody to buy something they got to die to get. So I would think, generally speaking, the failure rate tends to be higher than it is with other businesses. Let's take a closer look at what people had to say as what advice they would give agents for those who are looking to get into a career selling insurance. Be ready to invest money up front with no guarantee of any return. That is 100% correct. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to do this business, be prepared to take a risk. The truth is, this business is a risk. You're going into business. There's no guarantee of success. You're gonna take a leap of faith, and you're gonna have to face the truth of the reality that you might fail. The good news is that a lot of people who apply themselves, not everybody, see results, see success, more so than had they kept their job or been in another line of employment. Ultimately, it's a decision you've got to make, but this comment is 100% true. Get a good coach. This is excellent advice, and part of the reason why DeFord Insurance Group has turned more towards the training on a one-on-one mentorship basis. For example, I have 4 hired guns, agents who've worked with me for many years now, who are very skilled, very experienced in final expense face-to-face and final expense telesales. And their role now in my organization is to train agents on a one-on-one basis, to coach them, to mentor them, to prepare them for the realities that are to come of selling final expense in person or over the phone. So shameless plug, if you're interested in that, guys, you really appreciate training, check out davidduford.com/FAQ to learn more how the system works, to see if it's a type of setup that would suit you. Have good cash flow. This is imperative to have money on hand, especially if you're getting out there and having to go to work and invest your money into leads. Again, this is part of the reason why we now have a free lead program, because cash flow concerns really crunch down on a lot of agents that may otherwise have had success had they had more time. So one avenue we now have at DeFord Insurance Group for final expense agents, both face-to-face and telesales, is to provide them free leads, fresh and exclusive leads, at no cost to them. Granted, commissions are lower, and we do provide one-on-one mentorship and training, but it is something that is there for those agents who don't want to yet invest in leads, but start off with us footing the bill so we can help them get started to develop an income to ultimately possibly get to the point where they're buying their own leads at higher commission levels. Never depend on commission sales to survive. Ladies and gentlemen, every single admin person who is working in a company depends on you salespeople to get out there, hustle, and find and close new business. It's funny to me, and I understand and respect this person's opinion. Being 100% strictly commission is a tough gig, and it is not for everyone, despite what the MLM Kool-Aid drinking organizations recruiting you are trying to say. But the truth is, for those of you who get after it, who hustle, who make this into a living, you're supporting more than just your family. You're literally supporting the bedrock to America. America needs salespeople to have commerce and make the economy thrive. Without salespeople, this business of America collapses. So yes, it's a risk. And no, there's no promise that you're gonna make any money the next or following day. You wake up unemployed after all if you're 100% commission salesperson. Now let's take a look at those agents and agencies who completed this survey, who made more than $500,000 in income over the last 12 months, and see what they have to say as suggestions for you to do to get the most out of this business. This agent who made $500,000 in final expense says, find a good mentor and do the work. Funny, that's exactly what the agent who lost money said. Next one said, put your head down and get to work. Funny how we mentioned that earlier, how important it is to get out and hustle and work to make something of yourself. The third one said, head down, work hard. Do what's in your prospect's interest. Again, it's that work thing coming back again. This agent or agency who does Medicare Advantage says, invest in yourself. The best ROI you will ever have is quality leads and referrals. If you can survive the first 3 years, you will have a career for life. Again, survival in this business is so critical. Typically, the first several years are your hardest. It was the same for me. Once I got past the second and the third year, things really started to trend up. And in fact, the last couple of years, year 10 and 11, have way outpaced how my first couple of years looked, and I continue to make more income with each passing year and have a great quality of life, a great income, and more than I ever imagined. Why? because I didn't quit the first time around and kept with it until I mastered it, duplicated myself, and scaled up. And that's what's great about the insurance business. It provides such substantial long-term opportunity for those people who stick with it and those people who work hard. So in conclusion, what can we take away from this survey on how much money agents are making? Number one, be in the top 20%. It's in the top 20% really in any sales organization where the real money is made. You as a new agent or a struggling agent need to find out what the top 20% of agents are doing, then simply duplicate their practices so that you can follow in their footprints and get similar results, if not better than them. Remember, success leaves clues. Duplicate those people who are already successful. Don't reinvent the wheel. Instead, just duplicate the wheel, put it to work, and see if there's results. The likelihood is pretty high that there will be better results duplicating than coming up with a whole new system on your own. And the second thing I want to say is that ultra success in this business is very rare to come by. Look, it's no surprise that only 2% of respondents are making more than $500,000 in net income each and every year. It is very difficult to make that kind of money. You've got to work hard. You have to be intelligent. You have to have a discipline. And you have to have a vision. And these are things as agents you will begin to work on as you work through the course of your career, learn new skill sets, and grow into a better version of yourself. Being in the top 20% of the top 20% is what you will want to see and find in your organization, and then duplicate the results if you want to have, again, any semblance of chance of getting to the highest of the highest echelons of success financially in the insurance business. Thank you so much for watching, and head over to davidduford.com to learn more about our sales and marketing platforms for final expense, both face-to-face, telesales, paid leads, and free leads. We also train agents to sell Medicare, ACA, Obamacare, and annuities. Go to davidduford.com to learn more and to see how to apply for an open position, and thank you so much for watching.